Brothers and sisters, generals, welcome to another edition of EBX Discussion. And I salute current subscriber, new subscriber, anybody that view. I salute you. May that great divine be in our life, keep us strong, and keep us prospering, and be thankful for our loved ones, our families, those who are alive and breathing. Because we alive and breathing, we back to conquer another day, another year, and another decade. Don't forget that. We still alive, firm, and we're generals doing the right thing. We are on this divine space, and we are here for a reason. So keep on being the warriors and the spell breakers that we are, and we are becoming as melanated brothers and sisters. Don't forget that, young or older. And salute to my divine children. May that great divine be in their life, and my biological children, my biological brothers and sisters, and my divine brothers and sisters, as well as biological family, divine family. Remember that righteous realm, that ripple effect, we never forget it, keep it within and flow in that positive energy, powerful energy without, because it all starts with inner power. Inner power produces results in our life, where we think, how we eat, how we interact, discipline, relationships, life, finances. When we are aware on all fronts, you tell me what can stop us as a melanated brother and sister, and become nature, like what's on one's banner here. You'll always see me with pictures or depictions of nature on one's banner. These are, some of them will be pictures I maybe researched, looked up. Some of them will be real photos where I've actually been in nature, like this one on my banner here that was actually at a park by my job. It was beautiful. Always, man, hold on to beautiful moments. Pay attention to those beautiful days. We only on this planet one time, so don't just walk out into nature and don't pay attention to it. Never let life have us where we're running, and not slowing down for loved ones, love for oneself, and that love for becoming nature. Not just one with it, be nature, and move accordingly, just like principles. Doing things because we're supposed to, not because of some man's law or because we're told to, and we give to humanity and or culture in whatever space that we are in, as long as it's good energy going out. That's all we need to think about. All those fires we blaze through, that divine has pulled us through, and Mother Nature. That's our evidence of there's a powerful force out there when we pay attention to that divine spirit deep within, which is the most important. As I said in the past, the reason we have to go deep within to find that great divine, because that's where a lot of dark thoughts, hidden thoughts, things we don't need, it's in our subconscious. Those things that only we know is buried within. So that's why the great divine resides deep in our soul, because once our soul is filtered out and we become whole, and stress-free and aware and not running over nobody, especially ourselves, because hurt people. When we got love within, we'll see nothing but love with love outside too. I'll give a story. I went to that's another thing, we invest in our family, like in any way we can. And it's not always about being seen, because remember, that connection, that secret connection to that divine is the things we do no one sees. But it's okay to share, discuss things, like me volunteering. I don't talk about it a lot. I've done videos. I've been doing it coming up on 4 years, actually. It's been almost 4 years, and school is starting, and I probably won't volunteer this week. I'll probably start next week, if not tomorrow. But I'll have a video on it. And again, I got past videos in the past on my channel where I volunteered. I've done a lot of them, which is a wonderful experience. And that's a wonderful way to give impact, especially to the youth. Are you kidding me? Man, volunteering in schools, because then we can get on the inside and see what's going on. And salute to the faculty that I've connected with throughout the years of me volunteering. They really welcome me in. It's a nice environment. Can be challenging some days with children, as we know. But the end result, brothers and sisters, inner power produces great results when we observe, learn, and know how we were when we were young, and incorporate some of our experiences We teach children, and we can also learn from them, whether young adult or between 7 and 10. But which most of us know, a lot of children these days are very intelligent. So sometimes we have to listen more than we speak, because that's when we learn. When we're listening, especially deep in that core, and really work things out and look at things in a logical way. So salute to my son Ethan, who plays instruments, and he's done concerts, or he's either done some or he's going to be in some. And I'm proud of him and his mom, because she had a lot to do with. He plays the French horn, and it's pretty dope. And he does a lot of different things to keep his mind in the right direction. Of course, he's gonna be a child, and his emotions go up and down and do things, but for the most part, is a very good young black brother. You know what I mean? As well as his siblings, my divine children, my biological children. They all have a certain gift or skill, and very intelligent. Be thankful for the intelligent young brothers and sisters out there, that can see through all the madness, especially in social media and these phones and et cetera, TV, celebs, you name it. Because the great divine is not playing right now. All these little artists and these rappers and these celebs have been bragging over the years, or lying over the years, and being fake. It's all coming down, and it's one after another. So you still chasing fame these days. You chasing a dead dream, more like a nightmare. Real talk. The life of the Hollywood dream is dead, and we're seeing evidence. So I'm telling you, great divine is not playing right now. That force out there, whatever you want to call it, it's not playing right now. It's exposing any and every little thing in any area, high status, low status. So just be right within. And again, it's not about being this deep spiritual person or deeply educated. It's just being right and whole within. Then the deep spiritual will come, depending on our level of learning, and if we're researching and exploring, new things, new knowledge. So again, salute to my son Ethan, the rest of my biological children, my divine children. Salute to my family, which my perseverance kind of birthed from. Like I said, if you had that in your DNA of your family, be thankful, and call down protection from that great divine on other families that may be having challenges, because I don't take things like that lightly. Dysfunctions and ways of thinking, like I always bring up Malcolm X, the conditioning that some come out of it, some don't, and some come out later and some never. And it's sad sometimes, because all melanated brothers and sisters have a special divine power within. It's just a matter of what do we all say? Tapping into it and flourish and be the cosmic beings that we are from the beginning of time. That's why evil entities of the world coming up with all this artificial shit and AI and all this stuff, because they're doing anything they can to either learn or see how we're able to just get downloads and come up with gifts and skills, and we flourish in it as melanated brothers and sisters without books or any of that shit. Melanin is a powerful thing. Some brothers and sisters don't even know how powerful their melanin really is, but when you start researching, and getting deeper into that spiritual core, be amazed what we'll find out. Step into it. What are we or you gonna do when that truth comes for you or us? Because it's gonna come. Some of us take up that torch, take the bulls by the horn, embrace that truth and flourish with it. Some ignore it or deny it or try to bury it. Truth would never be buried, no matter what antics we try to do to cover it, go around it. The truth will stand firm always. It's just wonderful when you got generals that amplify that truth and keep it alive, because melanated brothers and sisters, we don't die, we transition. You know what I'm saying? Our spirit lives on. Again, look at Malcolm X and many others before him that were real to the pit of the soul. 2025, that brother's spirit still among us to this day. That's power. You know what I mean? That's power. So, so inner power, man, produces great results, and we see it in our children. Righteous in the present, benefit us in the future, remember? That's that inner power. It produces great results. You know, like I said about my aunt Vera, she invested in the family, and a lot of my family members as well as myself living pretty good off what she invested, you know, the fruit she bared, you know, and her spirit's still with me, still alive, you know, as well as other members in my family, like my oldest uncle Charlie, you know, and my grandparents, you know, my dad, rest in peace and empire, grandparents and my dad, you know, a lot of members in one's family played a part in one way or another. Like I said, we get along in this life a little more aware. We start connecting the dots and putting the puzzle pieces together, and everything begins to make sense. And we open up a whole new world when we broaden our scope, mind, body, and soul. So again, I'll be back to the volunteering, and I'll keep those posted as I always do. You know, again, I got podcast on here, and I just like sharing it, not bragging on it or nothing, because you know, when as a general brother or sister, we on this righteous path, we do things out of seventh nature. Don't even think about it. And so many wonderful results come back to us. You know, that's a given. Whenever we're putting out positive energy, it always returns, you know, whether it's small or big, especially when we're just doing it for the purpose of the journey we're on. You know, things just come out of nowhere, you know, and we accept it and be humble and keep on being the generals we are. Keep on reaching and teaching as students, you know. Leaders and teachers with a student spirit. I always got to keep that student spirit. We can keep learning because the levels never stop. All right. Now, inner power is our weapon, is our greatest weapon against weakest that be. You know, because think about narcissism and where it came from. Now, you have subtle narcissistic people that may have tendencies. Then you have full blown. Now, we all know politicians, most of them, if not all, are narcissistic. So that's really where that came from. This world is being influenced in an illusion of being ran by narcissistic people. So it trickles down to the public, you know. So that's good to study too, to make sure that we aren't narcissistic, you know, because I keep, like I told my son, Lord Lamont, salute. I got to check myself too, because I want to be, you know, because, again, the righteous in the present thing, you know, again, learn from these celebs, these artists, these rappers, and these people that just, life is just falling off. They're getting up into their golden years, and they're fighting back all that negative energy they gave out. That's danger. So, my young brothers and sisters, you better get our crap together. Again, great divine, my nature in that universe is not playing right now. And it doesn't matter what space we're in, you know. Because if we want to go back to the biblical and our Christians, I'm not a Christian now, what they say, God, if we really want to go by this narrative, now I don't really solely rely on the Bible. I don't, because again, when we come to that truth, it's certain things in the Bible and the church and Christianity and religion, we will come to different truths about it and see the falseness in some of it. So with that being said, if Christians say God can see all, so I don't get it. You know, people doing certain things. If that force can see everything, then we should be as righteous as we possibly can and always put that divine in everything. Even when we're feeling down or our mistakes, we don't just put that divine or God, as the Christians say, quotation marks. We don't just put it or use God. God is not a light switch, is what I'm trying to say. We don't just go to it when we're down or we need something. No. Great divine is supposed to be in everything. I mean, everything, you know. In my opinion and or theory, I think the great divine would respect that if we're honest with oneself. And again, I like to say, don't ask for a lot of things. Just if we do ask that great divine for something, ask for strength and also for others, not just ourselves. And don't ask for a lot of things, because what some Christians don't realize, because we get so lost in trying to feel good in this religion crap, we forget that great divine knows what we need, and it'll give us what we need, and the righteous ones will come. So just ask for strength for ourselves, family, children, significant other, and we do it consistently in our meditation. You know, other things will come. You know, we don't just flat out ask for things. Like I said, great divine is not a light switch. You know, it's the most powerful being that we'll ever experience on this planet, hands down. You know. So that was just a little something that was tinkering around in one spirit. about not taking that positive force or God or that divine, whatever's out there. Don't take it for granted. It's not a light switch, brothers and sisters. Just ask for strength. Be amazed. It'll come into one's life. But it's on divine time, not our time or man's time. All right? Become nature, not just one with it. Become nature, Go to the park or wherever we are. We fortunate to be by country or a lot of land. Get in there, where it's just you, nature, and the sun. And that's when we ask. That's a good way to get in meditation and or deep prayer too, or go to a lake or something. That's the best time to get in tune with Mama Nature and that great divine. Because the great divine is what? Masculine energy, and Mama Nature is the feminine energy. And the great divine, man, universe brings it all into balance. You know what I mean? But being consistent on deep prayer or meditation, the more we do it, the deeper we get into ourselves and get to that truth and see things, the truth within ourselves, not through no pastor. Because what I like to say, we learn from a teacher. We only feel good from a preacher. We feel good for that day and then go right back to doing the same shit. No, we need something that'll make us. We need teachers, brothers and sisters. I'm talking about the righteous ones. Salute. That impact us, that make us think. When we listen to a teacher and we're not, and then we leave, we're not around them, and those thoughts are still in our subconscious and we think about it. That's the kind of teaching we need, and it impacts our life, and we share that energy to others, because giving in energy is important. You see a home, like I said, we see a homeless person and they just give it to them. Don't even think about it. Be amazed what'll come along. And invest in our family, like I said my Aunt Vera did. Rest in peace and in power. So, and I got a little message for brothers that may be having a challenge with maybe a mother of our kids. And I'm gonna have a hip hop break too, by the way. I do got a hip hop break, but y'all always know I have a hip hop break for my generals, for your chakras. But a little message for my brothers, because I've experienced, I don't say baby mama, but quotation marks, baby mama drama. I say mother of my child. But anyway, still invest, even if one is not getting along with and it can be either or, but still invest in ways, because the child still have to be protected. We can't be getting lost in our feelings and how we feel about each other. And then, even though we're not subconsciously taking it out on the child, or should I say consciously taking it out on the child, subconsciously we are. Because if we just trying to get back at the other, I'm kind of speaking more so for brothers, still got to protect the children. If you got children by, the mother of your child, and you're not getting along, still have to invest, and think about the future. So I'm saying all that to say that, I invest, I call it see, again, I don't like talking about things I do. I'm just think of me as sharing experiences, something that maybe could help. I help her pay her rent, and it's not being a simp, nothing like that. It's investment. And her rent's not even that much. But I don't do it for her or do it to make me look like the man or nothing like that. I think about the future. It's for those children. Children need roof over their head. You know what I mean? And again, it's putting energy out. It doesn't mean that we have to be with that person or we let them run over us. We still can have control and still do righteous things. That's what I'm saying. So I look at it as an investment into myself, for one, and into those children, and maybe into her, because these are things that the children, my divine children and my biological children, will remember in the future for things to come. So I heard a great brother say that we have to be present. And to me, that's being present and not thinking about how we feel or how that person, what that person did, none of that. Look at the overall picture. For one, when we're in toxic relationships or having challenges like that, forgive me, background, they're working on a house next door, so you might hear some interference, so forgive me for that. But if you're in a relationship and it could be male or female, brother or sister, and they're toxic, of course we don't get entangled with their toxicity, but still become a student of human nature, brothers and sisters. See why they act the way they are. And once we can get to that point and kind of understand a little bit, then we won't look at things that we're a simp or none of that. No, it's investment, brothers and sisters, and fuck money anyway. I could give a damn about money. I could care less about money. I see what it does to people. If we've done our research and we're paying attention, we'll see what money does. And for our so-called Christian folks, not trying to beat up on Christian, but they always talk about money is the root of all evil. But you say that, but are we living it? You know what I'm saying? So that's why I don't care about fame and none of that. And I didn't been on TV and all that. It didn't mean shit to me. It's because we have to focus on things that's important. We can't lose ourselves or get lost in our own hype, as I like to say. Yeah, so those are some things I wanted to speak on. And just putting out good energy, investments, invest in our family best way we can, whether if it's not financial, spiritually, a positive word. Like I told another thing I told when I went over to get the money, I gave her the money order so she could fill it out and everything so she could pay the rent. And I dropped some jewels and I told her, love is nothing that can be pretended. We have to love so heartily. We can't fake it, none of that, because that fakeness will bleed through eventually. And then it's wasted time and wasted energy. And she was sitting there, my divine granddaughter and her mom, they were sitting there. It was quiet. You could hear crickets in the room. But, even though she didn't say nothing, she heard me. You know what I mean? It'll be in her subconscious because she know how I am. She know how I'm positive and I don't do the negative, but not floating on this cloud. A realist and positive. We get wise as brothers and sisters and up in awareness. We'll learn how to balance the two. We'll know how to balance being humble, a firm humble, not naive. And we can breathe through life like that, and it's beautiful. Man, when one can see clearly. Inner power produces, man, nothing but positive results all day. Yep. And let me see. That was some things that I wanted to share. And as I was taking when I got done, I left my son Ethan's mom, when I left her house, went to take the money order and drop it off, and I parked the car in a school zone. I knew I wasn't supposed to park there. It was just quick. I was gonna drop it off and run back. And the ticket lady was coming up on my car. It was a sister. She was cool though. And I was running up to the car. I said, oh man, but I wasn't mad or anything because I wasn't supposed to park there anyway. And because of my energy, she only gave me a warning. You know what I mean? She could have ticketed me and everything. And she was nice. I said, have a good day. Thank you. She said, this is just a warning. You're not supposed to. I said, I know I wasn't supposed to park here. And but I wasn't mad or nothing because I was just gonna take the ticket and pay it, But she gave me a warning. See how the divine works when we're flowing with it and we become nature, and not taking things for granted and just be aware and be accountable, because I was accountable for the ticket. I wasn't supposed to be parked there, but because I didn't come at her angry and nothing like that. Because she paused for a minute, especially melanated brothers and sisters. We all have that little, I don't know what to call it. It's something we have in us. We can just sense things that evil entities, people that don't have melanin, less melanin or no melanin at all, can't tap into. So she paused for a minute because she was waiting for my reaction. But I didn't react in no kind of way. I said, okay, I'll take that. And she said, you know what? I'm going to give you a warning. I'll just let you know this is a busy area and it's a school zone. I said, thank you, my sister. I appreciate it. So have a good day. She said, have a good day too. That was wonderful. And that filled my heart with joy and hers. See, it's beautiful having interactions like that, so good energy. And I was in the mix of doing something good, great divine. I'm telling you, that's why we don't have to ask that great divine for a lot of things. It knows what we need. And Mother Nature is always watching because we are a part of Mama Nature. We are birthed from nature and we go back to nature. So why not study it and appreciate it and embrace it and become nature? You know what I mean? It's beautiful. Go outside, look up at the birds, look at the sky, look at the trees and the flowers. And man, go in the park, take your shoes off, walk through the grass barefooted, embrace it. Get away from these computers and these laptops and these little spaces, and go above and beyond mind, body, and soul, And free-flowing knowledge is a gift. It really is. And it pours into us like a waterfall. I did a podcast and I did a clip from Africa, which I love Africa. And they have beautiful waterfalls over there. It's beautiful. I've been trying to learn a little more about Africa, the good, beautiful things, and some of the things that might be a challenge over there, because there's a challenge in every country or continent, state, city. we all have some kind of challenge in one way or another. But for the most part, as I said in the past, I did a podcast on it. Africa is beautiful, beautiful over there. You just have to be educated about it. Can't take that American mindset over there. We have to be free and clear in our subconscious. Still have love, but be aware. Because we have good brothers and sisters that we do come across on this journey, as I have. I've had a brother I listened to today that kind of helped me start my platform. Some of his supporters subscribed to my channel, and kind of lit that fire for me. And it's wonderful, inspired me, and here one is today. In the future of the present I was in back when I began this platform, I'm literally kind of in the fruit that one is bearing now. I'm kind of in the process of, you know what I mean? It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And there's a lot of us like this in the world, online, family, general, brother and sister, So be more like nature, man. Stay smooth, no limited or no limitations or restrictions, flow freely, mind, body, and soul. Let things come naturally. Be seven nature. Get to a space where we don't have to try anymore. We just be us. Our presence alone will speak for itself, and that's inner power. And man, we'll see the results. Results will come, because inner power always produces results in our life and others. Real talk, because we build in generals. That's what keeps our realm strong. We don't just think about ourselves. I'm telling you, that's what the great divine locks on to, and it's wonderful, so salute to one's family, my biological family, which, reason why some of the things in my DNA, my grandma, my granddad, I'm sure they had unique things within them. My dad, that's where I get it from, so, and then along the journey, we develop our own skills and knowledge and all those types of things, along the way. And it's like a puzzle. Like I said, like I told my son, Lord Lamont, life is like a puzzle, And for people who's programmed, speaking of Christianity, testing. Oops, sorry about that. I bumped the mic. Please forgive me. A little technical difficulty sometimes, but you know what we do. We keep flowing. Yeah, but I had this debate with this white lady at my job, and she was a Christian, and she's one of those force you to believe what she believes, and I flat out told her I don't subscribe to Christianity or religion. I've been there, done that, and what the knowledge that I have come upon, that I've actually heard other teachers say, that Jesus was the name of a slave ship, never even existed. And I'll put that in the end screen. I actually got that on a thumbnail and a banner where it shows the ship that they called Jesus. And this ship had black people in it. I mean, packed in like sardines. I mean, made me angry when I looked at it, actually. So she debated me, and yes, he does, and all. I said, look, lady, I don't have to believe what you, for one, I don't believe. One knows. And again, it's not about knowing everything. But, I don't subscribe to Christianity. That's your thing. And she was like getting all red. And I mean, people will fight for, and they so programmed and used to what they think they know, because a lot of them are just hearing what some pastors say or something they read in the Bible. No, what do we know? What's in our core? What do we know? Not what some preacher said or something we learned out of the Bible. Now, I will say, there was a church that helped me, Good Hope Ministries. They help people get jobs here in the Milltown. Now, I will say that church helped people. I don't know too much about other churches, but that church did help people get jobs, because I took a 5-day class there. A brother named Mr. Pugh, and he was a teacher. He would talk loud, and I remember one of the faculty members pulled me to the side and asked me what did I think about Mr. Pugh, and I thought it was cool. And did I think he talked too loud? I said, no, he just like to be heard. And the faculty member started laughing. So I guess somebody was complaining he talked loud. I'm like, really? He's supposed to be here to learn. You know what I mean? And he was a good teacher. But he had that type of voice. You didn't forget what he taught you, so. And they teach you how to get resumes and kind of brush you up on your resumes and filling out applications, stuff like that, just to get you in how to, act in interviews and speak and things like that. So that's one church I will say that does help the community. It helped me. It's called Good Hope Ministries, but not all churches are like that, you know. So going back to this white lady I was debating with about Christianity, and I told her my side, and I wasn't forcing her on it, but I'm not gonna let you force it down my throat, because I know some of the falsehoods about some of this religion and Christianity, you know. So you have to go deep, deep, deep in one's core, and you agree to disagree. You can't force things down people's throat. So that's what this lady was doing, and all I felt was programming. She just programmed, just going off what she think she knows, and I told her I'm not going to debate with you, and because it's pointless. And she got all huffy puffy and mad. I told her you might as well cut it off right now. And she said something about man's law. I said fuck man's law. What have man law done for us? But I had cut it off after that. I stopped because I told her I'm not going to debate with you. You're not going to make me believe what you believe. I said fuck man's law, unless it's now we do need laws. You know, maybe for, for rapists and people who are unaliving people, and just are a menace to society. Now we need laws for that. But in one's opinion and or theory, laws wasn't made to keep the public safe. Laws were made in the interest of the politicians. And that's my opinion and or theory, so because they shuffle this shit around every 4 years, and the only reason why they want people to vote to make them think they have a sense of power when they don't. You got people sitting around a table somewhere probably fucking laughing. Real talk. I've never voted, and I'm proud of that. Never voted. Don't have a bank account. Haven't had a bank account going on 45 years, and it's wonderful, and it's so freeing. And I don't shop online. I don't have cards, none of that shit, unless I absolutely have to. I put it on the card. But fuck banks. I've had a bad experience with banks, so fuck man's law and fuck their banks, because we are not inadequate. So if we talking about we want to break free from the system, start by it depends on who it is. And I'm not telling nobody not to get a bank account, nothing like that, but I don't need no bank to be disciplined with one's money. Actually, me not having a bank account made me better at disciplining one's money. Now, I'm not going to say where I keep the money. It's not at my home, of course. But I got my own resources, that has nothing to do with their banks, and I don't shop online. I don't have a credit card. I don't have a Cash App. I don't do any of that shit. If you want to, deflect scammers, get your ass offline. Stop buying everything on the fucking line, because it makes us lazy anyway. In our thinking, give us lazy thinking physically. Again, could be an opinion and or a theory, but I'm trying to break away from the system one by one thing at a time. So some things I boycott. Banking is one of them. So and then in the research I've done, some banks allegedly, in my opinion, banks are the root of a lot of chaos, and they own the Congress and politicians, because they make the money, in one's theory and opinion. So like George Carlin said, give a man a bank, give a man a gun, he'll rob a bank. Give a man a bank, he'll rob the world. So everybody has their own take on that. Take whatever you think that means. So all right, that's my own thing. And because our brain has the ability to adapt. It's just that they got us where humans are not used to handling our own money. We think we need these cars and these banks. That's the way they got us. And that's called what? Programming. But if you study the brain, we have the ability, especially melanated brothers and sisters, we have the ability to adapt to anything, So that's why I said become nature, because that's what nature is. It's principles, it just flows. Ain't worry about no money or fame or attention, none of that shit. Real talk. Just study nature. Look what nature does. And nature will be here. We humans come and go. Nature is infinity, as well as that great divine. So just do the best with what we got while we're here. Don't chase money, because you'll lose yourself. Never ever chase money. Just do things accordingly, naturally. Money will come, depending on the situation that we're in. But we got to be stable in that mind. And remember, less stress, no stress at all. And man, remember, we're birthed from Mama Nature, and that's what we'll go back to. So we appreciate Mama Nature. Always speak on that divine. Again, keep that divine in everything. All right, now I'm gonna get to a hip hop break, and when I come back, I got an introduction to inner power, because it does produce righteous results, good results. A lot of us are living in our results that we have planted them seeds, man, years ago, and we're literally living in the fruit that we have bared. Like I said about my Aunt Vera, man, I thank her, for investing in family. That's how we got to look at it. Again, brothers, if we have situations, the baby mama drama thing, we still have to invest. We can't just because, again, depending on how bad they are, if it's just feelings, and just because you got in a little argument, and sometimes things just work out where individuals can't be together, but they're still the children, they're still the future. The future is going to come. So still got to invest, and we still got to protect our sisters, in the best way we can. So that's how I look at helping her, pay the rent and other things for the children, because I'm investing in their future and mine, and investing in myself. It's good for me. It's good for my immune system when we do things like that, and we do it because we can, not because we're obligated or have to. And that's what that great divine Mother Nature loves. I guarantee it. And you be amazed things will come, because I remember I talked about the Brewer thing, the burgers, because they got, like, when the Brewers win 12 games here in the Milltown, they give away free burgers. So I just did a podcast recently where I showed them, they brought the news camera into the job and all that. But and I was talking about how challenging it was to cook all those burgers. But what I got out of that, now money isn't everything, but the money that I have, kind of, help my son and his siblings and maybe his mom, I got it all back. I made a whole lot of money, even though I worked my ass off and cooked all those burgers. Made a whole lot of money. So all the money that I put out to the universe, I got it all back. And that happens again and again. It never stops, but we have to step into the new, step into that cosmic spiritual world. We are cosmic beings as melanated brothers and sisters. We just got to tap into it. Be surprised, and we start experiencing divine moments again and again and again. Like I said, my son, that story he told, we talked about it a couple times, but it's a great story when he gave that homeless guy $20, his last $20, when he was feeling down, and within 2 seconds opened up a door for a lady. And she said she never had no one open up the door for her. Now, I told this story before, but it's a beautiful story. And she gave my son, I'm talking about Lord Lamont, gave him $20. Now, what are the odds of that happening? I'm telling you, Great Divine just sit back just waiting on us to do things and to show us things, and that can happen to us all the time. And I'm telling you, that helped Lord Lamont in that moment, and it lifted him to the next stage of his life. And it also helped that lady, and it helped the homeless guy. You never know, that homeless guy and that lady, it probably bettered their lives from that point on, but sometimes we can be impacting somebody in a positive way and don't even know it, especially when we're not looking for recognition. Be surprised how many people, those of us that do heal and help people and give positive word or something physical, be amazed the impact we may be having on someone's life. That's why we have to be as righteous as we possibly can, because words can be powerful. So that's why we have to have a righteous agenda behind it, okay? Because never take our listeners. Be thankful if we do have listeners and warriors, generals that we are building, because that's their energy that we have put out, and it can come through a person, place, thing. And I'm talking about something righteous, So that's why we tap into that inner power, because I guarantee you it will produce righteous results. All right. So I'm gonna get to this hip hop break, and I want to come back with this introduction to the benefits, or the introduction to inner power and how it can have some wonderful results. Okay, let me see. And the first song is Rebel in E, and this is the affirmation we can say to ourselves. A rebel in E. You can say it because it's a rebel in all of us, melanated brothers and sisters. It's a rebel in all of us. We didn't even ask to have a rebel in us. It just happened. You know what I mean? Life make us become a rebel, and I'm talking about a righteous rebel. Where we're all toxic things disgust us. Things begin to disgust us. Some things we just don't dibble and dabble in no more. Like beefing. I hate beefing. That's why I'm gonna put that in the end screen about, and that was the title of it, about us. Well, part of it. I can't remember what the title was, but on the banner it shows the ship, and it says it either on the thumbnail or the banner. It shows Jesus was the name of a slave ship. That's where the term come in. Walking on water. They were talking about a boat. It's crazy how they flip and manipulated the words in that Bible. And that's what I'm telling you. Walking on water. They were talking about a boat. That's what they really were talking about. And if you look at the banner and you see how our people, the slaves, were just stuck in these ships, in the gully of the ship, the bottom of it, not comfortable, not a cruise, like sardines. I mean, it kind of angers me. Righteous anger, real talk, when I saw that photo. So, but he teaches his own. Everybody has to come to their truth. What are you gonna do when the truth comes for us or come for you? Because it's gonna come. One way or another. Whether it's the personal truth in our own lives or something in the world, it's gonna come. And just ask a lot of these artists. Just look at a lot of these artists and these celebs. Truth hitting them hard. Real talk. So we better learn. If we don't know now, we'll never know. But be a rebel. You know what I'm saying? So be a rebel in this life. And don't be swayed by every little thing. And explore and expand our mind. So be back after this. Shit. Wake up music. Shit. Never stop. For that great divine. Let's go. Salute. There's a rebel in E. I never lose that love. That's deep and deep. Brothers and sisters. There's a rebel in E. I never ever lose that love. That's deep and deep. Go. Brothers and sisters. There's a rebel in E. Keep on grooving. Never no losing. Do exactly what I gotta do and get that love from up above. Try one best, man, to be a good bruh. Never low, I stay on our toes in this life while we on the go. Keep that divine in our mind. Man, I promise you we'll be fine. Always see our family in these streets, but we gotta be a beast. There's so much death and murder going on in this life, man, we gotta stay strong. That's why I do this in these songs, in that great divine zone. Never will stop, we're never alone. There's a rebel in E. I never lose that love, but that's deep in deep. Go, go. Brothers and sisters, there's a rebel in E. I never ever lose that love, it's so deep in deep. Go, go. Brothers and sisters. Life has made me stronger, never wonder. I know what's in my gut. And yeah, never looking down, man, I keep us looking up. Good energy, that's all I see. I try one best to be a good E. I never will stop, yeah, never no quit. Yeah, in this life, I never quit. Go. There's a rebel in E. I never lose that love. It's so deep in deep. There's a rebel in E, but I never lose that love. It's so deep in deep. Brothers and sisters, there's a rebel in E, but I never lose that love. So deep in deep. There's a rebel in E. I never lose that love. So deep in deep. Real talk, I never lose that love. Now, again, not naive or letting things, person, place, or thing run over us. Just never losing that love within ourselves, because as we say, if we can't love ourselves, how the hell we gonna love somebody else? Real talk. So love yourself, brothers and sisters. I know we hear that a lot, but that's where it all begins, wherever situation we're in. Because negative can cost you. Positivity or positive energy is free all day long. Yep, so be back after this. The next song is Takes Time. Sometimes, but don't take too much time now. But stay on it, brothers and sisters. But in life, as we experience, whether it's a little time or a lot of time, sometimes it takes time. Be back after this. Yeah, EBX. It takes time. Yeah, we don't have to grind. Yeah, I promise we'll be fine. Brothers and sisters. Yeah, whatever that we need, whatever we want up in this life. Yeah, it takes time. Yeah, a man will be fine. Yeah, I'm doing it too, making sure I do what I gotta do to make it through. Good things in this life is what we choose. And in this life, of course, we don't wanna lose. And making sure a man that we see. And in this life, try our best, man, to stay free. And watching our children and family. And in this life, gotta be, man, the righteous beast. I never stop, man, to do this hip hop. I keep on doing this, man, my brain locked on smart things, cause that's what we are. Be good, don't care about being a star. I keep on pushing through, always got the good news. Yeah, inspiring things, making sure we never have the blues. I stay grounded, all up in the soul. Yeah, family, sisters and bros. Woo! But it takes time, yeah, and we don't have to grind. Brothers and sisters, I promise, yeah. I will be fine. I keep pushing, I like the soldier do. I never stop, I never get stuck to no glue. Toxic things that stay up in this life and making sure we sing good things and joy up in our soul. I stay up on the toes and on our go. Regions and teachings all in my brain and making sure that a general stay in our lane. Yeah, and never be distracted by the devil. You see it, that's why I do this. So while I'm on these beats and never stop. Man, I love being the E. Try my best to make the whole world see. It takes time, but don't have to grind. Yeah, I promise we'll be fine. Brothers and sisters, in this life, what we need, what we want. It takes time, yeah, and we don't have to grind. Yeah, man, it takes time. Yeah, man, I promise we'll be fine. We don't have to grind. Brothers and sisters, yeah. I let it come natural, yeah. Sometimes it takes time. Real talk, brothers and sisters. Takes time, you know? And a lot of us are experiencing the time we put in, you know, and just gotta stay with it, you know. Remember, those divine fires that we have been through, that's our evidence. That's why we're here today, you know. The impossible things that we thought we'd never make it through. And if we made it through those fires then, what makes us think we will make it through these fires now? So just keep persevering. Divine perseverance, you know. Just did a recent podcast on that. I think a couple days ago. So we're going to get back into the mojo, brothers and sisters, and leaders and teachers with a student spirit. Let's get into it. The benefits of cultivating inner power include greater resilience to bounce back from challenges, enhance self-confidence, and agency to shape our life, improve decision making. You know, like I said, investing in our family, you know, the baby mama drama thing. You know, we got to go outside of our own feelings and thinking and think of the broader picture and the future, especially if kids are involved, you know. Yep. So let's go. That's where the selflessness comes in and not being selfish, you know. All right. Improved decision making and clarity of purpose and the ability to form more positive relationships through increased emotional intelligence. Inner power also fosters a deep sense of self-awareness, allows for greater stability, reduces mood swings, and promotes loving kindness towards oneself and others. Like I said a little while ago, can't love nobody else if we don't love ourselves. Real talk. So we have to love ourselves. You know, there's no way around that. Hurt people. So again, inner power produces nothing but righteous results. You know, I've experienced it. I've heard other stories from brothers and sisters in the world online talking about the righteous ones now. Emphasis on that. We're in the righteous circles. We'll know who the real generals are. Remember that. So pay attention to the circles we're in. Pay attention to the algorithms. Pay attention to the sidebar when we're strolling on social media. Keep our eye on everything, you know. Don't get it, because it's so easy to get pulled into shit in this life. Real talk. False sense of reality. Danger, danger, danger. Gotta watch that. And getting caught up in our own hype. And it's to remind, sometimes I think of affirmations to remind myself, never forget, if we are fortunate to have a platform, but I'm talking about in life in general, we're on a purpose or we are trying to do something or impact humanity and or culture. Never forget why we began doing this in the first place. And this is for me too, because I had to remind myself, and let that great divine force deep within us lead the way. And again, think back, has that great divine ever led us astray? Yes, I meant to rhyme that. Y'all know I be rhyming. Yeah, has it ever led us astray? I'm talking about good things that happened to us, that impacted us, that were detrimental. You know what I mean? That were vital, that some of us almost lost our lives. I'm serious. Think about those times. So we are standing firm. I don't care what storm we're seeing or facing. We are here for a reason. So again, there's evidence all around us. Those who have been lying to us, and it could be melanated or not, either way. We'll know who the false ones are in the end, especially if we're right within and we're in them righteous circles and we got righteous teachers around us, leaders, I'm talking about a leader within, and teach others to become, because I'm not into the old leader thing. I want to share. We all can be leaders. That's how I look at it. I say that a lot. That's why I say leaders and teachers with a student spirit. Always got to keep that student spirit. That's what will keep us from getting lost in our own hype if we happen to have a platform. Because one rule, that if you take nothing else away from this channel, what I said today or other podcasts, one rule that we better carry if we are on social media or whatever. I'm talking about in the world in general. I'm just kind of stopping on social media. One rule we better know and live by, that never ever underestimate the power of the media and or social media. If you can do that, nothing would ever, if we can do that, nothing will be able to fuck with us as brother, sister, family. I guarantee you. So thank those for coming in to another edition of EBX Discussion. And as I said about voting, I don't feel bad about that. And I don't care what other people think, because programming, conditioning is a mother hubble. You got people that will literally fight to the ends of the earth for that programming that they're under. And a lot of truth sayers out there, we're going to mess up a lot of people's programming, because becoming aware and knowing the truth is not an easy process for everybody. It was challenging for me. I had to go through that inner core and subconscious and all that stuff. But once we get through all the gunk that we've carried in our subconscious over the years, once we get past that and our own feelings and disagree to agree, man, we'll see a whole new world. It will open up. We can't be closed-minded about things. Ask questions. Again, not that we know everything, or it's just knowing the truth overall. Even if we are in religion, know some truth. Know yourself, as we hear a lot. Through, and the truth will come. If we seek that truth, we will come into it. There's no matter of if or when. We will come into it. And once we come into that truth, there is no looking back. And as my son and I, Lord Lamont, we spoke on spirituality and these things. It's not something to play with. It really isn't. And wisdom, being wise and knowledge is nothing to play with. And don't take it for granted, because as we see, some influencers are falling off. Again, artists, celebs, been holding up this fake facade for years, man. Now they're finna come into their golden years just struggling. And that's something we don't want, definitely. I don't care how much knowledge we have, how we look, how much money we have, what status. I'm telling you, we better come into our golden years gracefully, because that's what ages us. All the negative energy we've put out throughout the years. Now, some of us maybe have put out negative energy some parts of our life, but we learned, right? From that what? Woulda, coulda, shoulda. So the moment we learn and change and get out of this programming, the evil entities around us, weak as that be, has got so many people in. And it's melanated brothers and sisters, most of all, but pretty much everybody is, those who aren't aware are under some kind of programming. Some of them are aware of it. Some of them don't know they are, some of them want to stay that way, So, but again, when we're on that mountain or on top of that building, looking out over the whole world, we'll see this so-called matrix for what it is. And I say 1,000 times, man, it's kind of sad. It can take a lifetime, and some people never learn, and that's crazy. So that's why the Great Divine has placed its warriors strategically all over the world. And when we're rooted deeply, spiritually in our soul, we'll know who the generals are, even if we're not right next to them. We'll know who the generals are. That's how deep this divine spiritual power goes, and we stay with it, study it, and embed it, that divine spirit in our soul. We will see that inner power. And we'll also see, brothers and sisters, family, generals, we'll see those wonderful, wonderful results if we're not seeing them already. So when I say inner power, righteous inner power, where all toxic things disgust us, let nothing wrong enter our psyche. And if something does, battle it, pinpoint it, fight it. We get a thought in our mind, whether it's from person, place, thing, media, news, politician, fight it, question it, see why you're getting the thought. If you feel some kind of thought that don't belong in your psyche, see where it's coming from, fight it. Because our subconscious have to be clear. It mixed the joy, fun, and those things. That's part of the balance too. But when it's time to fight spiritually, got to be on deck and got to be ready. Real talk. So that's my my message, and that's something I had in one spirit that I wanted to share with current subscriber, new subscriber, anybody that view. I salute you and thank you, brother, sister, family. And may we all keep that great divine in our life. Keep us protected. Keep on cultivating that inner power, my generals. And I guarantee it. If you don't see it soon, you'll see it later of that inner power. We'll see wonderful, righteous results. And I give that a guarantee. Salute. This has been brought to you by Mama Nature.